You yourself should understand.
What if I told you that the most heartbreaking death of this entire season wasn't even on a battlefield, but born out of pure, unadulterated petty revenge? Hey everyone, welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host Spoiler Master. If you just finished watching House of the Dragon Season 3, Episode 6, and you're sitting there staring at your screen wondering how the heck Westeros got this messy, trust me, you are not alone. This episode was an absolute roller coaster, and honestly, we need to unpack it together. Grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's break down what just went down, because the pieces are moving fast, and nobody is safe. Criston Cole's long overdue exit. Let's start right at the top with Criston Cole. Yeah, he's finally gone. If you remember from last week, Criston and Gwaine were out in the Riverlands trying to block the Tullus and the Winter Wolves. Gwaine looked around, realized they were hopelessly outnumbered, and basically said, "Hey, maybe we should retreat." But did Criston listen? Of course not, because in his own mind, he's still the greatest warrior in all of Westeros. So, he wraps Alicent's handkerchief around the hilt of his sword, fully expecting to die some glorious heroic death worthy of songs and legends, and instead, he gets taken out by a single Winter Wolves archer before he can even swing his sword. In the books it was Rob Rivers, but here the show changes it to a female archer, and honestly, it's over in seconds. Now, I know the music tries really hard to make this feel tragic, and the cinematography gives him this grand farewell, but let's be honest for a second. Criston got exactly the ending he earned. Think back to everything he's done. How he treated a very young Rhaenyra, how pride slowly turned into obsession, and how that obsession eventually destroyed everyone around him, including himself. So yeah, rest in hell, Criston. Although credit where it's due, Fabian Frankel absolutely nailed the role from beginning to end. Meanwhile, back in King's Landing, Rhaenyra is dealing with an entirely different disaster. Aemond Hightower is somehow creating chaos from miles away. Gold cloaks are being slaughtered. Daemon immediately wants to solve the problem with dragonfire, but everyone reminds him that burning cities usually comes with innocent people burning too. So instead, Rhaenyra decides to send assassins, a quieter solution, at least. That's the plan.
Let me know when it's done.
Mysaria's secret game and Alicent's desperation. Meanwhile, things inside the Red Keep are getting even messier. A Baratheon messenger arrives with terrible news. Lord Boros has gone off to fight the Vulture King in the Red Mountains, meaning House Baratheon won't be sending troops anytime soon. Naturally, Rhaenyra is furious, and instead of simply dismissing the messenger, she tells him to undo his belt, which sounds strange at first, but it'll make perfect sense later when those uniforms become part of a dangerous assassination plot. At the same time, Rhaenyra confronts Alicent over her failed escape attempt with Helaena. Alicent admits she genuinely believed Rhaenyra would eventually kill both Helaena and her unborn child to eliminate future threats to the throne, and surprisingly, Rhaenyra doesn't completely deny it. She simply says things may have been different if Alicent had trusted her sooner. Because of all this, security around Alicent and Helaena is doubled, but something else catches Rhaenyra's attention. How did Mysaria not know Helaena was pregnant? That's almost impossible, unless Mysaria deliberately kept it secret. Suddenly, it feels like Mysaria might be quietly preparing to switch sides, believing Rhaenyra's position is becoming weaker every day. To erase any loose ends, she orders a guard to silence the maid who witnessed the escape attempt. Cold, efficient, and exactly the kind of move we'd expect from the White Worm. Later, Alicent notices Helena's latest embroidery, and it's deeply unsettling. It shows Aemond lying naked in a pool of blood inside Harrenhal, with a mysterious woman standing over him. Since Helaena has prophetic dreams, much like Daenerys Targaryen who foresaw the doom of Valyria, Rhaenyra actually takes the vision seriously. Instead of dismissing it, she sends Alicent alone to Harrenhal to verify whether Aemond is truly there. If Helena's vision is real, Alicent and Helaena may finally earn some freedom, but if it's false, they'll remain prisoners indefinitely. Aegon's reality check and Rhaenyra's regrets. Elsewhere, Corlys Velaryon is making his own statement by hanging captured Triarchy soldiers from trees, sending a brutal message to the Greens. Soon after, Alan arrives requesting more Velaryon soldiers to defend King's Landing. Corlys still can't hide his disappointment that Rhaenyra refuses to officially recognize Alan as a Velaryon. But Alan calmly responds with something that completely silences his father. saying that even without the family name, Rhaenyra has shown him more respect than Corlys ever did while he was growing up. Sometimes, the truth hurts more than any sword ever could. Meanwhile, Aegon, Larys, and Tyland continue hiding near Rook's Rest. As Tyland buries poor Janos, Larys suggests escaping to Braavos or Casterly Rock. Then Aegon quietly asks Tyland a surprisingly emotional question. "Do you think I'm a terrible man?" Tyland can't even answer properly, and that hesitation tells Aegon everything he needs to know. If even his closest supporters struggle to defend him, how could anyone else? That's exactly why he abandons the idea of Casterly Rock and decides they're heading to Essos instead. Up in the Vale, Rhaenyra finally faces the consequences of her choices. Lady Jane immediately slaps her for breaking their agreement to stay hidden, reminding her that her obsession with becoming a dragon rider has cost countless lives, including Jace's. It's a harsh lesson, but one that arrives far too late. Meanwhile, back in King's Landing, Alan finds Baela sleeping near the dragon pit and tries talking to her about Corlys, only for the conversation to unexpectedly turn romantic. Honestly, it feels completely out of nowhere, but perhaps both of them are simply trying to escape their complicated family problems the only way they know how. Alys Rivers and the Dragon Eggs of Harrenhal. Now let's talk about the strangest, and probably most important, storyline of the entire episode. Harrenhal. Alys Rivers continues treating Aemond's injuries after he saves her from the mercenaries, but instead of encouraging him to leave, she insists that Vhagar has likely hidden herself for a reason, and that Aemond should remain hidden as well. Of course, Aemond refuses. He immediately tries stealing a horse, but when a stable boy recognizes him, Alys murders the poor child without hesitation, simply to protect Aemond's identity. That's how dangerous she truly is. Then comes the massive reveal. Alys leads Aemond to a hidden cache of ancient dragon eggs, Dreamfire's forgotten eggs, resting beneath Harrenhal for generations. According to Alys, these eggs have remained dormant for nearly a century, and her proposal is absolutely insane. Hatch them, raise an entirely new dragon army, and rule Westeros together from Harrenhal. Naturally, fans immediately exploded with theories. Could Aemond and Alys become the founders of House Went? After all, Alys commands the Black Bats, and House Went's sigil features 9 black bats. Others believe these could eventually become the very eggs that reached Daenerys centuries later, meaning Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserion may have originated from pure Targaryen bloodlines instead of Aes High. Right now, they're only theories, but they're incredibly fun ones. Chaos at Tumbleton. Gwaine versus Ormond. Over in Tumbleton, tensions inside the Green Camp continue rising. Gwaine arrives and informs Ormond about Criston Cole's death, but instead of appreciating the warning, Ormond criticizes Gwaine for retreating. The irony here is that Gwaine made the only logical decision possible, yet Ormond remains convinced that Rhaenyra is too soft, too cautious, and too afraid to ever unleash her dragons against Tumbleton. Things become even darker when Gwaine spends time with Daeron. He quickly realizes Ormond has been manipulating and controlling the young prince, treating him less like a future king and more like a puppet whose only purpose is advancing Ormond's ambitions. Daeron quietly admits he has no real choice. He's simply trying to survive. Then Rhaenyra's assassination plot finally unfolds. Those fake Baratheon soldiers, wearing the stolen uniforms from earlier, arrive at Tumbleton covered in dirt and exhaustion. Ormond almost falls for it, but Gwaine immediately notices something isn't right. Within seconds, the disguise is exposed, and every assassin is killed before they can strike. One coincidence, one man being in the right place, completely destroys Rhaenyra's carefully planned operation. The tragic ending. Corlys is gone. And finally, we reach the heartbreaking ending. Back in King's Landing, Rhaenyra receives a blood-soaked Baratheon uniform with a chilling message written across it. Kick this dog, and it will bite your hand. Before she can fully understand what it means, Ormond launches his retaliation. He sends Jon and his loyal men after Corlys Velaryon, and just like that, the legendary sea snake is dead. Pause. If you noticed that brief shot in the mid-season trailer showing Alan walking behind a coffin, this tragedy suddenly makes perfect sense. This isn't simply the loss of another council member. It's one of the biggest strategic blows Rhaenyra has suffered all season. Corlys wasn't just her hand. He was the greatest naval commander in Westeros, the head of House Velaryon, and one of the few people capable of balancing Daemon's recklessness. Ormond knows exactly what he's doing. He's trying to provoke an emotional response, hoping Adam, Alan, or even Rhaenyra herself will rush toward Tumbleton seeking revenge. and fly directly into the trap he's carefully been building. So now the biggest question is, what happens next? Will Alan stay calm after losing his father? Will Adam seek revenge with his dragon? And has Aemond finally pushed Rhaenyra too far? Let me know your theories down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more House of the Dragon content, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.